You may proceed whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Would you please introduce yourself to the court by telling him your name?
My name is Verna Bernstein.
And did you know a gentleman by the name of Barry Schmallach?
I did.
And how did you know him?
He was my nephew, my step-nephew. My sister is Vivian Schmallach, and my niece is Emily Schmallach-Scaletta.
Okay. And is there anything that you'd like to bring to the court's attention that you believe is pertinent with regards to sentencing in this particular case?
Yeah. You know, Barry was a big, beautiful light in my family's eyes and their life. You know, he was there with Emily when she was growing up. They became really good friends. And even later in life, he came back to the family. And he's just always been a very kind and generous person, almost to a fault. But Emily was getting so much closer to him again, and she had just lost her dad. She lost her grandmother, who she was close to, and now this. And it's heartbreaking to see someone you love go through this much loss. And it's just unbelievable. You never think it's going to happen in your family. But in this case, it did. And, you know, to not be able to grieve for him properly, I just think it's so unfair. He did not deserve to go this way. He'd just gotten healthy. He was trying to live his life, and he was just taken like that. And he should have been on this earth. He would have meant so much more to more people. He was kind. He was respectful. He took responsibility for, you know, his mistakes in his life. And, you know, it's a tough loss for our family and for his friends. He had a lot of very close friends. So I'm here speaking for my sister and my niece.
Thank you, ma'am.
And he's also going to miss the birth of his first niece. Maybe not his first niece, but... All right. Thank you.
Buckle up, because this case is going to leave you stunned. A grieving family, a stolen future, and a man named Barry Schmallach, whose life was just beginning again, cut short in a way no one saw coming. What started as a reconnection between a niece and her beloved uncle spiraled into heartbreak, shock, and justice served in the harshest way. Today, you'll hear from 3 powerful women, each delivering raw, emotional testimony about who Barry was, what he meant to them, and how one act shattered everything. From courtroom breakdowns to ghostly goodbyes, this isn't just a sentencing hearing. It's a story about legacy, loss, and the brutal reality of violence. And by the time we're done, you'll be asking yourself, how do you grieve a man whose story was never finished? Let's get into it.
Judge of State would like to call Ms. Sherry Steyer.
Do you swear or affirm testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can take a stand. You can do that.
Thank you. Hi.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
Would you please introduce yourself to the court by telling him your name?
My name is Sherry Steyer.
And Ms. Steyer, do you know a gentleman by the name of Barry Schmallach?
Yes,
And how did you know him?
he was my baby brother.
And is there anything specifically that you'd like the court to take into consideration as it relates to sentencing this particular case, as it relates to your brother?
We weren't very close at the end, but I've always loved him. I always knew he was a good person. I'm sad that we're never going to be able to reunite on this earth. I look forward to seeing him. We are good. We are at peace.
Vera Bernstein's voice hits like a gut punch. Her words are soft, but the heartbreak is deafening. She's not just speaking as an aunt. She's standing in for a family torn to pieces. You can hear the struggle in her voice as she talks about Barry's kindness, the way he reconnected with Emily after so much loss. And then, just like that, it's all gone. It's one thing to lose someone to illness or time, but this was violence. And Vera makes it crystal clear, Barry didn't deserve to die this way, not when he was just starting to live again.
Together, I know this in my heart. I am sad that Barry was just starting to get his business going when this happened.
Here comes Sherry, Barry's sister. You can tell this is more than just testimony. It's a soul trying to heal. Even though they weren't close in the end, she still calls him a good man. And what she says next, that she'll never get the chance to reunite with him on this earth, that's the kind of line that stays with you. This isn't just courtroom protocol. This is mourning in real time. It's that painful blend of regret and hope, grief and love. And when she says she sees him in her dreams, that's how deep this loss cuts.
And I miss him. I've always missed him, but I really miss him now. And I hope this is okay to say, but he does come to me in my dreams. That's how I know that he's okay and he's at peace. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lastly, Judge, the state would like to call Ms. Rosalie Falco.
All right. If you'll just raise your right hand, do you swear affirm testimony you give will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
You can take the stand.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon.
Would you please introduce yourself to the court by telling him your name?
My name is Rosalie Falco. I am Barry Schmallach's friend for 40 years.
And you're one of the same Rosalie Falco that testified in this case.
Yes, please.
Is there anything
Sorry.
that you'd like the court to consider as it relates to sentencing in this matter?
Yes, please.
Please.
Okay, so Barry Schmallach was not just a friend. He was a family to all of us, and we all showed up for him. He may have looked like he lived in Florida alone, but he had a whole tribe that was all.
And there it is, a future that never got to happen. Barry was finally getting his life on track. His business, his purpose. It was all starting to click. That's what makes this tragedy even more brutal. He wasn't spiraling. He was rising. And now, that rise is frozen in time. This isn't just about losing someone you love. It's about losing everything they were finally becoming. That ripple effect on friends, family, future plans, it's devastating.
By his side. Barry was a ride or die. He stayed with his people. He was loyal. He was admirable. He was a person who brought everybody together. He had friendships all over the world that lasted lifetimes. If you met him for 5 minutes, you loved him because he was genuine and very, very, very truthful and very true. He was the best person you'd ever meet. Barry's sister can't travel because she's having her first baby. And Emily wanted you to know that she just got her brother back. And Chris took that away from her.
Rosalie just dropped a bombshell perspective. Barry wasn't isolated. He had people, a tribe. And if you've ever been lucky enough to know someone like that, someone who binds people together, you know how rare they are. Her voice doesn't shake. It's fueled with loyalty and love. Barry wasn't just some guy. He was the glue. And now that glue is gone, leaving cracks in everyone's world. This isn't just about one death. It's about the collapse of a whole network of love.
Took away the niece that he would have loved to have seen and bounced and held on to. She misses him dearly, and she loves him. She's happy the justice was served, but, you know, she's a baby. She's only 30. So she missed out what could have been her older years to really enjoy her family as an adult, which got taken away from her. And she's an only child. So she truly doesn't have any other siblings now. That was her family. She's blessed in many ways, but her brother is gone. And that's something that we cannot ever replace. And Barry left a mark on everybody. I think he left a mark here as well this week. People that knew him for a year or two, people that knew him for lifetimes. You know, Margaret was like a daughter to him. And I heard many stories of the love, the deep love he had for Margaret and Leon. Leon's is his family. Leon is his brother. The love that is in this room for him can't be matched. Can't be matched. And we would show up 110 times if we had to for him. So I just wanted you to know that he was an amazing person.
Love. That moment, that's the emotional apex. Emily had just gotten her brother back. A second chance. A rekindled bond. And it was ripped away. Not just by fate, but by someone's choice. Someone made a decision that stole not just Barry's life, but Emily's peace, her stability, and her future memories. She's 30, an only child, and now she's alone. And that pain, that emptiness, that's generational. That's a kind of grief that doesn't fade. It reshapes you.
That's all.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. I have nothing further.
You want to know the kind of person Barry was? Listen to how people speak about him after he's gone. Rosalie says he left a mark on everyone, and she's not exaggerating. This courtroom wasn't filled because it was required. It was packed because people needed to be there for him. When someone dies, we often ask, were they loved? For Barry, the answer screams from every testimony. Yes. And that love is now tinged with rage, grief, and a plea for justice.
At this time, just mere argument.
All right.
What we just witnessed wasn't just a sentencing. It was a eulogy in motion. Barry Schmallach was more than a victim. He was a brother, a friend, a second father. And in every voice that echoed through this courtroom, his legacy lived on. From Vera's heartbreak to Rosalie's raw loyalty, one thing was clear. Barry mattered. Deeply. This case reminds us how fragile life is, and how devastating it is when one choice erases a future. If this story hit you as hard as it hit us, hit that like button. Drop a comment. Should victim impact statements carry more weight in sentencing? And don't forget to subscribe for more real courtroom breakdowns that uncover the emotion behind every verdict. This is justice. Up close, unfiltered, unforgettable.